So as you know, my sense of direction has never been fantastic. Gotten lost a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I also went to a bunch of different colleges, and I recognized that there was a difference between like a smaller campus where I could reasonably figure out where all my classes were, and a larger campus that other people knew how to get around in, and I would just I've gotten lost within buildings. I've gotten lost within everything, and it's been really bad. And you've watched, well, not watched, you have been aware of when I've gotten lost in bathrooms.
Yes. To be fair, that bathroom was strangely designed.
That's true. But sometimes, like, in my mind, a building will be you know, the Escher painting where it's just the stairs and some of them are upside down and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, in my brain, it's all that.
That's how it feels.
Yeah. Once in undergrad, I got lost on the other side of campus because I'd gone to the other dining hall. There's only two. And I'd gone to the other one because a friend was there or whatever. And for whatever reason, I decided to call my friend from home who had been there maybe once because he would be able to tell me how to get back to my dorm. That was just
I know
lost.
what campus you're talking about.
Yeah.
And the second dining hall is just further down the hill.
In retrospect, I know this, although I can't even picture it. I was there for so many years, and I can't. And I also got stuck in my own dorm at one point.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was bad. Okay, this one is worse. This one is worse because it was actually in my high school, but not while I was going to high school.
Okay.
So you have a good sense of direction, so you don't know what this is like. You're the guy who can look at the sun and just be like, oh, north is that way, and somehow that means something to you. Like, why do I care what north is? How does that tell me how to get home? Like, but you know.
Well, it's useful information to know. I retain some things from Boy Scouts. It's useful. If you're in New York City, knowing like where north is orients you automatically.
I don't see how.
Numbers. Everything else is numbers.
I don't see how. So that doesn't help me. So, this one summer I was taking a class for college, but at my old high school. And I figured, like, yeah, I'll remember this place. I was there for 4 years, right? It'll be a breeze getting around. And first of all, the saying "you can't go home again" can mean a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of my old high school, it means some major renovations were being made. And the entire thing was not only looking real different, but was actually being gutted at the time. So after my class, I go to leave. And I remember that the doors lead, you know, out. And technically speaking, they did. There were no, like, arrows. There were no, like, signs or whatever. But I guess everyone else understood what was happening.
Well, it was over summer, too, so they didn't expect many people to be there.
That's true. But I was there. There was a whole class of people there. And somehow they all got out safe, I assume. But me...
You're like, I'll go this way.
Right. So I thought out would still mean, like, to a parking lot. And it didn't. It didn't mean that. Out in this case meant to a wasteland of mud and construction equipment. And I'd like to think the equipment was, like, just as confused as I was. Just looking at me like, why are you here? And it was also raining, hence the dirt being mud. So I turned back to go inside, and the door is locked. Automatically locked. The door I had just gone through was locked to the outside. And I'm sure I made some interesting faces trying to get back in. I started to panic, you know. So with no other choice, I turned to see if I could somehow just climb my way out back into society. And I began to sink into the mud. Just slowly sink into the mud.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was not cool. It was not cool. And not only was it really, really super gross, but I was also working under the assumption that I was just going to die there and be buried like some horrible time capsule.
You were going to be a bog person.
I was going to be a bog person. Just, you know.
What a joy for the future anthropologist.
Right. Like, oh, this seems to be a college girl. What she was doing back then in the 2000s, wandering around to high school, who knows?
She has a belly full of Lucky Charms.
Right. I actually don't remember how I got out. Because I don't drive, and I certainly didn't then. I didn't even have a license then. So someone must have found me. I don't remember. But I was distraught, and I was dirty and disturbed when I went back to my parents' house, and the sandals I'd been wearing were just given to the gods as sacrifice because they were so gross. And I don't know. I don't know why I thought it would be easy. I mean, even when I was in high school, I never knew where I was going. I'd carry around my schedule every day, and I'd ask my teacher every day how to get to next class. No one assumed there was something wrong with me. They were just like, whatever, she's small. Like, no one was like, hey, maybe there's like a brain thing going on here. Nope. Nope. They just accepted, she doesn't know how to get places. It's fine. I was late most of the time to every single class. So I stopped going to my locker, except before and after lunch.
We were part of the, I think at this point, like, you have options to get, like, tablets and stuff. But I remember there being a thing when we were exiting high school because you had 70-pound kids carrying, like, 60 pounds of books.
Yeah.
And it was causing, like, back problems in 12-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah, and at the end of our high school years, people started having, like, clear backpacks and whatever.
Well, yes, because of the shootings.
Yeah. But, like, they weren't sturdier.
No.
They didn't help. And again, I would just carry all of my stuff before and after. So before lunch, I'd have all of my stuff for half the day, switch it with my lunchbox, switch it back, and then for the second half. But that's why I'd like, in this brilliant process, I would often do my homework and then leave it in the locker and just not hand it in. Like, my parents would watch me do my homework, and then it never met the teacher.
When we went through stuff from your parents' house, we did find some of your old homework that you never turned in.
Yeah. It's like, see, I did it. I did it. It was there. And, yeah. So, and middle school was actually worse. Because even if I had known where my locker was, which I never did, I wouldn't have known the combination to my lock anyway. Though other people knew which locker was mine because I had that slur scratched into it.
Yeah.
That's another story.
That's a whole other story.
But, I was very surprised to learn, that's my locker, I guess. Why did they know?
You're responsible for this slur someone else carved.
Yeah.
You went, that's my locker?
Good to know that's my locker, I guess. Do you know the combo? Because I don't.
I mean, I don't know if your school's like ours, but, like, it was just alphabetical. They weren't.
It might have been.
So.
I didn't know anybody's names. So I would have never known.
I was a small graduating class. Like, you knew everybody.
I guess our class wasn't that small, but that's really not an excuse. It's just terrible. It was just terrible. And I still have dreams where I'm lost and looking for my locker.
Aw.
But, I didn't know where it was anyway. So it's not like that'd be new. It could just be a memory. Who knows? But I got lost in wide open spaces, too. I get lost in stores. You've seen this. I panic.
We take the dogs for a walk around the block. It's basically 4 left turns and we're home.
Yeah.
And you get lost.
I do. It's not good.
There are times where I can see the house. I don't know how to get home. I'm like, you can see the house. It's
there.
Yeah.
You're behind a tree for a second, and I panic thinking I'll be lost forever.
Yeah.
And
we don't let you explore on your own.
No, and panic doesn't help. Because it is partly a stress thing.
Your brain just turns off. They've studied this where, like, during panic, the thinking part of your brain turns off, which is not a great evolutionary thing that's happened.
It's not. But I think that's part of the problem, is that I'm just always in a panic. And I think my brain developed in a stew of panic. And now this is just what my brain does. Like, this is just who I am now. It's just,
By the way, like, I don't remember how I got out, because the panic just turned off that part of your brain.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, I've learned to ask, or at least, like, pretend to know where I'm going enough to calm down. But I always feel like I'm wrong. So you've seen, too. I'll be correct.
Mm-hmm.
But I decide to second guess myself because I've been wrong so much in the past. And I feel like there's a metaphor in that. Trauma.
It's just trauma.
So leave
The metaphor is trauma.
The metaphor is trauma. So leave in the comments a time that you've gone anywhere and gotten extremely lost.
When have you been lost? When have you been found?
Yeah. And rock on.
Rock on.